The scales are finally tipping in your favor, finally. So, hey, if you've been all trapped up in your mind, haunted by the what ifs or the could have beens, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, guess what? That energy is done. That energy is clearing. The karmic wheel is spinning. It's turning forward. And whatever's been hidden, I got to say, is coming to light as we prepare for that Libra full moon in just a few more days. Justice is here. Justice is here. And so, not the kind that you beg for either, but the kind that you earn, I want to say, by choosing truth over fear. And so this isn't just a karmic turning point. This is a cosmic green light. Are you ready for today's message? If you think this message is for you, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into today's reading. Hey, welcome in, welcome back everyone. It is Laura and we are going to talk about these cosmic energies because the energy today is saying get ready to step into a brand new timeline, but there's a lot of inspiration coming in, but it's feeling a little bit scattered. It's feeling a little bit overwhelming when it comes to the mental stimulus going on in the collective. And I do feel that is due to the moon in Virgo in a square to Jupiter in Gemini. So the moon in Virgo is connected to our emotions, but because it's in an earth sign, it wants structure, it wants order, and it wants grounded action. And we throw that square in to Jupiter in Gemini, and it's all about expansion and it's all about optimism. But there's this mental overload of information coming in, and it just feels like trying to piece it all together, trying to figure everything out. And there's going to be a lot of variables in the energies, right? And so I kept being shown the world card with the devil card. And so this could definitely play out in your individual life or path with overthinking an emotional decision. And so it's like, I want to be certain, I got to have all the details before I can take action. But it's like you're spinning in circles. And I kept hearing that Post Malone song. I'm pretty sure it's called Circles. So go have a listen. That was a pretty significant channeled song for me earlier in the stages of my awakening. And it seems to be coming back around again. And I don't know how you're feeling, but with the moon transiting through Virgo, I know for me it's triggering feelings of being inadequate, right? Even though I'm doing so much, because I got this heaping plate full of responsibilities this week leading into a local vendor show that I'm working at on the weekend. And I know I've got those zodiac signs in the background saying, oh dear, Laura, you've got 10 more zodiacs to do for the month of April. And it's just feeling overwhelming. And it's like triggering, I want to say, feelings of inadequacy. And so because that moon in Virgo, let me tell you, it does push for perfection. I would know with my moon in Virgo. And so the Jupiter in Gemini energy is saying, do more, say more, do more. And so it feels like a pressure cooker energy, to be honest. And these energies are playing out in all of our charts somewhere. So I've got the moon in Virgo sitting in my 7th house. I got that Jupiter in Gemini sitting in my 4th house. And it just feels like this overwhelming, heaping plateful for me, connected to my home life and my relationship to myself, along with the collective work that I do. And so with this information overload coming in, it's like all of these ideas, and it might feel like you're being disconnected from your body or even your true feelings. So really take the time to get grounded in the energies today. Consciously ground yourself in these energies, because it is a big conflicting energy between intuition and logic, right? It's like your gut is saying one thing and your brain is like, no, it's trying to rationalize it in a different way. And so we got to simplify our energies today. That's the best advice that came through, is simplify. Less multitasking, more presence in the moment, okay? And I know it can be hard with all of this mental energy going on. Watch for that imposter syndrome. Definitely been dealing with that imposter syndrome again the last few days. Or almost like this desire, like I need to prove myself and prove my worthiness, when we are inherently worthy as we are on our own without having to prove ourselves. And so ground your ideas. Use lists. I'm a big lister. I like to jot it down. I have little papers scattered everywhere with lists. Write things down, especially if the ideas are coming in like wildfire. Create a plan, right? We can't just dream about it. We have to create a plan. We have to take that grounded action and tune in to your body. That's what the Virgo Moon energy is asking you to do. Tune in to your body. What are you feeling? It's not just about the mind. The body tells you what is true. And so with that World and that Devil card, there is a deep indication today of karmic completion connected to what still binds us to unhealthy attachments, illusions, and fear, right? And so the World is success, it's completion, it's evolution, it's enlightenment, it's expansion, and the Devil is those attachments, right? Whether it's addictions, people, places, things, whatever is keeping you stuck in that old timeline. Because let me tell you, we are jumping timelines. My frequency has been raising again. That DNA structure is shifting into that higher frequency with all of these light codes coming in. And I do think we are in this portal, I want to say, of that final test. That final test before that big leap forward. And so ask yourself, are you finally ready to let go of what's no longer in alignment? Because we are going through a major realignment within the collective, and there's going to be temptations. Be weary or be leery. You might be feeling weary. I know I've been feeling weary, very extremely physically tired in these energies, I feel, because we're in a major purging portal leading into that full moon in Libra, and I'm still feeling that collective anger, that collective rage, especially connected to injustices within relationships. But I do feel the devil's coming in to try and tempt you. And the devil comes in many forms. Usually the devil comes in the form of everything that you've ever asked for, and it's going to tempt you to repeat those old patterns. Just as you're ready to close out a major chapter, the devil's going to come in and it's going to tempt you to repeat that old pattern. So do not get stuck. This is a moment, I want to say, where we are all being given a chance to consciously break free, to break the chains, to walk through the new doorway, because I want to say the doorway is wide open today, but we do have to choose it. We have to choose it. And so I do feel Virgo Gemini, a message that came through for the Virgo and Gemini collective. You're at the center of this square energy today. Expect that internal tension. Let me tell you, it is loud for me. I'm also a Venus in Gemini, and so that internal tension is loud for me. And so I do feel this is also going to be a portal of magnificent growth if you harness this push-pull dynamic with that groundedness, okay? So just trust that this push-pull dynamic is sorting things out for you, okay? Sagittarius, Pisces, I do feel you are also going to be affected because of the mutable energies coming through with that moon transit. You're probably going to feel this, I want to say, in terms of beliefs. And I feel beliefs connected to relationships, or even like a redirection of your spiritual path coming through. And so you are being asked to get clear about what it is that you want to commit to. What vision are you being called to commit to, Sagittarius and Pisces? And then Capricorn, Aquarius, you came through. I do feel that's connected to the tarot messages that came through in my third eye. I think that's where this energy is hitting you very strongly, especially with that World and the Devil combination, right? And so Saturn energy is coming through for you. So there's some type of karmic completion or karmic lesson coming through for you, Capricorn and Aquarius, and the fire signs. The fire signs came through. So Aries, Leo, Sag. I really felt a strong Page of Wands energy lingering between that World and the Devil card. And so it's like it's a call to launch. So I don't know if there was like a failure to launch, but you are being called to break out of a rut that you've been in and to launch into something new. So I'm curious to see what comes through with the cards today. I know I've been doing extendeds recently. There's going to be no extendeds to any of the readings this week until I get myself back on track, because as much as this energy is saying do more, create more, be more, I'm trying to get grounded in my inherent value of just doing enough, right? So let's jump in with some cards. Let's see what needs to come through with the cards today. So I'll see you on the other side. Let's get right into this message. The first oracle card out was you decided to wake up, or else why did you draw me? And so this definitely fits right in to the energies today. I just want to say this feels like a spiritual slap in the face, a very loud wake-up call, right? To get present, to get intentional, and then we see that full moon energy here. So all of these energies playing out leading into that full moon in Libra are really saying, hey, this is a loud wake-up call for the collective. And with the moon in Virgo and that Jupiter in Gemini, I think you are being asked, are you paying attention to what's really going on? That's what this card is asking you. Are you really paying attention? Are you ignoring the obvious signs? Or perhaps maybe you are trying to explain them away with logic, because the spiritual journey is far from logical, right? And so ask yourself, what synchronicities keep repeating? And what would actually happen if you trusted those synchronicities? Because I do think the key message with this card basically is saying you've already chosen the awakening path. And so now you've got to live like it, right? Your awareness is your superpower. And so use that to pierce through illusions. And then we get the cut away what is no longer needed for you. And so this is a big message about cutting away those dead branches. I also feel this does beautifully tie into the Devil in the World card, right? That came through in my third eye. And so you are at the threshold of freedom. I do want to say that, but you got to walk through that doorway, right? There's some dead weight here, old weight here that you need to release. And I do think this could be connected to familial patterns, right? You think of the tree, you think of the roots. We all have deep ancestral and family roots here. Oh, look at that. It says joy on the card. Beautiful. And so it's also a 9 card connected to the Hermit, connects to the moon energy. But I do feel this is a card speaking of sovereignty. And so who are you without needing that validation, right? What family beliefs or inherited wounds are you ready to sever? Because this card, I feel, is also asking you, what do you still believe you have to prove? And who taught you that you had to prove yourself? That's a pretty deep message. And so you are allowed to choose a new story. You are allowed to let go of guilt. You're allowed to let go of people pleasing and any outdated roles that you've been asked to play, because liberation is an act of will, right? We all have free will on the journey. And then the last card out, I love it. It's deliver your greatest gift to the world. And your greatest gift to the world is you. This is always you. And so your light is needed right now more than ever. Not a diluted version of who you are, not a people-pleasing, approving version of who you are. This is a call to shine your light unapologetically, right? You have earned your wisdom. You have earned your power. It's time to open up those gifts. It's time to express those. And it's time to step into your true purpose. And so this is about a spiritual mission. This is about a soul-aligned path. And so this is no more dimming, no more shrinking, no more needing to have permission to be great, to be unabashedly, perfectly imperfect, because you are the gift itself, okay? Bottom of the deck, we get how can this be wonderful? And it says win-win-win. And so there is a win-win-win situation here, but I also feel a Tower card energy coming through. And so I think it's really time to embrace the spiritual path, the awakening journey from a place of curiosity, right? Not fear. And I think that's that Jupiter and Gemini energy. And so when things are breaking down around us, when things suddenly shift, this is a message I feel asking you, what if this is happening for you, not to you, right? And so that's a big step in the conscious path that we choose to take, right? When we decide to say, hey, this is happening for me, not to me, then we shift into that living consciously energy. And so there is a new path being cleared right now. So trust that whatever is leaving your life is to allow you to shift that perspective. So shift that perspective from why me to what now? And so I do feel this is really Jupiter influenced. I think it's like a mindset shift. And so optimism is not delusion either. Optimism is fuel for possibility, right? Even in the chaos. And let me tell you, the chaos is actually a blessing in disguise. When we lean into this change with trust, then we've got this win-win outcome, right? That's when everything is kind of possible, but it always starts with you. It starts with you believing that anything is possible. And so I feel right now there's a collective awakening, and that's quite clear. There's a collective releasing and a collective rise. And so we're really seeing that frequency gap. We're really seeing that timeline split. I want to say louder than ever before. And so we are stepping into a new Earth timeline here. And it is all about self-expression, authentic self-expression. And so we are at the edge of a completion here. But there's a need to release a grip on a situation. So let's talk about this breakdown. I want to say this breakdown of this tarot spread. Because we did get the Nine of Swords as the first card out. We'll talk about the top row first, the Nine of Swords, the King of Swords, and that Justice card. So this is feeling pretty heavy. And so this basically, I feel, is a masculine energy coming through. It's a king. It's a masculine energy. But this is about finally confronting what's been haunting you, right? The mind, I feel, is starting to release anxiety, starting to release guilt. I do feel a lot of spiraling thoughts, right? The Nine of Swords is like, what keeps you up at night? What is haunting you in the night? As uncomfortable as it is, we have to face it to heal it. And so I do think there's been confusion. There could be detachment from truth here. I do feel there's a masculine that has really detached from their personal truth. And I do feel maybe even silence. There could be ghosting here. There could be silence here. Or this could be a masculine that has let somebody else's beliefs override their own discernment. And so I just feel there's a lot going on here connected to breaking free from maybe something that was never yours, or even a belief, right? And then we get this Justice card. So this is a clear message of a karmic realignment, right? There is going to be karmic justice playing out here leading into that full moon in Libra. And so the scales are being balanced. I do want to say that there is truth surfacing. Unavoidable truth is coming to the surface. And I do think there's a cutting of cords. I really do. And so there's a lot of higher truth coming through. So don't be afraid. The Justice card is saying everything is going to turn out exactly as it's meant to be. And so there's an integration going on here, I think, healing from the mental loops, not over intellectualizing the healing process, just embodying it, feeling your way through it. And then I do feel there's a lot of heart energy in process here with the middle row. That's really what this feels like, heart energy with the Seven of Pentacles. I just feel it's time. I do feel maybe you've been dealing with a masculine that's blocked communication, and maybe you've been really patient with this masculine, or you could be this masculine. But this is saying somebody here has put in a lot of effort, and there's a pause. There's a pause for evaluating whether you've invested in something that's worth continuing investing in. And so I want to say that sacred pause energy is coming through again today. We get the Four of Cups, and we get the Ten of Cups. And so there's discontent, boredom, and emotional disconnect here. And somebody here really is missing a blessing, right? You see that dove. Somebody here really is missing out on a blessing here that's been trying to reach them. And I do think it is connected to love and emotional fulfillment. And we could have this masculine, because the Four of Cups was below the masculine, has really been denying how much he's actually been focusing on an opportunity that was missed that didn't work out. And so I think we've got a masculine sitting here saying, how can anything be wonderful? How can this be wonderful? But the Ten of Cups is saying, hey, the dream is possible. Emotional fulfillment is possible. This is also an energy I want to say of calling in soul family. But somebody here, I want to say there's a masculine here, is at a very pivotal choice point. They can stay stuck in missing out on something, or they can trust in what is becoming of them. And so I just feel a big message too coming through of don't settle. Please don't settle. Just because you've waited for an investment to give you some type of return doesn't mean you have to keep choosing it, especially if you feel like you've been watering a dead tree, right? If you've been watering a dead tree. So I feel there is a need to open up your heart here to something better. I have to emotionally align with that, right? And so the bottom row, I want to say, is karma. I want to say karma, possibly hidden energy connected to taking action. There's a deep subconscious layer in this bottom row coming through. And so there's that fated shift. It's here. So major karmic pivot point. There is definitely something closing out. It's fated. The next chapter, I want to say it's ready. But somebody's got to get on the wheel. They can't resist these fated changes, right? And the Knight of Swords is quick movement. I think there's going to be some challenges here that need to be faced. And I do think it's about truth telling. I do think it's truth telling. It's decisive energy. And there's like a final surge, I want to say, after a very long stall. And you've got to be mindful not to rush into action just to escape the discomfort, right, of sitting in those negative emotions. And so let your truth lead you, not your fear. And the Three of Wands in reverse, I do feel this is kind of feeling like delays, impatience. It could be fear of the unknown. It just kind of feels like the vision isn't quite materializing yet, but it is. It really is, right? And so there's a need to just realign, I feel, with all of this expansion going on in the mindset, right? And so the universe is shifting somebody here, probably you, into alignment. And there is a need to trust in the divine timing of this journey, right? And so do not let impatience close your heart just before the breakthrough, okay? And so the Hierophant in reverse, this is all about breaking the mold on the bottom of the deck. This is an energy saying you are not meant to follow the traditional path of your family lineage, the religious path, all of that. You're here to go towards spirituality. There's a need to stop playing small. There's a need to stop doubting your abilities to grow, release the grief, release the regret. The story is not over yet. The story is just beginning. And so this is about letting go of old lineage and ancestral patterns. And you get to choose your own truth, right? That's the beauty of the awakening journey. You get to choose your own truth, even if it looks radically different than what your family expects of you or your friends expect of you. It is Taurus energy. And so at a soul level, collectively, we are at a turning point, and all of these energies today, I have to say, are pushing the collective forward. The moon square Jupiter is shaking things up, and this is connected to emotional patterns, stuck mindsets, I feel. I do feel this tarot spread is all about releasing that fear, releasing the old voices in the head and calling for that karmic truth. I do feel there's this emotional recalibration going on here. Somebody is being invited into a much higher frequency of joy and fulfillment, but there's a stuckness here that needs to be released. And I just feel the overall message of this reading is screaming, hey, it's time to step into your destiny and to show the world who you really are. Stop dimming that light just to be digestible. And so trust in divine timing as this shift is unfolding for you. You are in the process, I want to say, of releasing these old stories that no longer define who it is you're becoming. And you're not here to fit in. If you don't fit in, that's okay. I have never fit in ever in my entire life. I've never ran with the crowd. Never had a group of friends that I felt like I fit in with. You're just here to shine. So if you don't feel like you fit in, just shine that light. Welcome in these new energies, because they do usually arrive with a little bit of chaos. And honor your gifts. Share them unapologetically, okay? Honor your gifts. And so that's really what I got for the message today. I hope it helped. I hope it resonated. And no extended today, but we'll get back into the extended next week. Like the video, comment on the video, share the video, please. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time.